right, so it is live. Looks like it's good, and obviously, if there's anyone in chat, looks like King Dylan is there. Let us know
Yeah, what's going on, Dylan?
how the audio is. Um, yeah, and then the Game Awards are tonight. Not that I really care or have weight
Yeah.
into what they are saying is the best game because I think it's just a weird thing, but I can't
Yeah,
wait to see the reveals. I mean, I'm even hoping to Switch 2, but
that would be kind of cool. Yeah, the who was it? Somebody made like a Switch Pro that was pretty awesome. They were like, honestly, the Switch itself like throttles its own software. Like the hardware
yeah,
can handle more than what it does. So,
yeah, no,
so he
exactly.
beefed it up.
And then like the rumor about like it being 2 screens.
That's just silly. The Switch DS.
I would love it. Or it's something like where you can connect your Switch to the Switch 2,
Yeah.
or they might add game streaming for multiplayer. So if someone has a Switch, you can stream from a Switch to the multiplayer to another Switch. I don't know. I think they got to do something to like
Yeah.
be unique. Um, all right, Barry BB is into. Yeah, so far so good with everything with the stream. So, Steven, I'm gonna go set up our starting soon with the music going. All good.
Sounds
Okay,
good.
cool. All right, let's do that. Hey, Gundam Maniacs! Welcome to the Gundam Explained show for December 7th, 2023. I am your host, Adam Blue. And joining me as always, we got Steven from Midnight Hatter. Steven, what's up, man?
How's it going? I'm getting in the spirit, I've got my
Oh,
lights up, I've got my
yes.
little mini tree. I'm feeling this holiday season. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Yesterday, at work, like a meeting ended early, and I go into this optimized mode. It's like, okay, I have some time. What should I do? And it was putting up our Thanksgiving stuff that we had around the house, and then getting out the rest of the Christmas stuff, in the house because I like that.
Nice.
I don't know.
Yeah, yesterday, like before our show yesterday, I was putting up a couple more inflatables. I've got like a big Santa, I've got like an elf,
Oh,
and then repairing some of the lighting fixtures on the outside of my house.
ooh, impressive.
Homeowner struggles, right? Like,
Dude. And that's cool because I know how you've talked about like learning a lot about electricity through some of the customs hobbying stuff you've been doing. And like there are some light fixtures around my house that are broken. I haven't bothered messing with it. And I need to. And part of it is learning that. And it's like I need to learn that stuff.
yeah, it once you realize, like, okay, positive, negative, grounding, like, all that stuff kind of it carries over from Gunpla to, home electronics. Don't th this is not advice, please don't anybody, like, just start tearing wires out of their walls. Um,
I know it's dangerous, but there's something fun about it, like
yeah.
the hobby part. And hey, Diggler's in the chat.
Yeah,
Good to
what's up,
see you.
Diggs?
Um, but yeah, yesterday. Well, first I'll start with on today's show. I'm going to do some pulls in GBO2. We're going to talk about that Silver Phantom VR, and then talk about Gunpla that released this year and what we think about it. But yesterday on your show, we had Seiji on, which was cool. Links in the description. So afterwards, you guys want to check that out.
Yeah, that was a
Um,
lot of fun.
yeah,
I
he
mean,
with our that Venn diagram of gaming and Gundam, he's like one of those main pillars of that we can talk to. You know,
yeah. Because I think we're all fans of Gundam and gaming, and that's kind of like the niche that we sit within, but it's always nice to have people that have that kind of industry knowledge where it's like, maybe the reason that you're not seeing the game you wanna play is because of X, Y, and Z, so
yeah,
it's just really cool, and for me, it was a huge learning experience, so I hope
yeah,
that everyone got some good value out of that
Yeah.
discussion.
The main thing with me though was like how, since UC Engage has been out, he's been making videos to kind of help people get into it, which
Yeah,
is super because with these mobile games a lot nowadays, it's more about learning the mechanics behind the resource management and what you have to do something. It's less of gameplay mechanics, right? And so
right.
sometimes when it's not about gameplay, I just kind of check out. But his videos kind of helped set sort of a grounding to how to approach doing everything. And he's kind of right when he was saying, or he is right when he's saying that the game kind of tells you how to do things, which is true. And there's even this little haro you can press at the top, and then it says, "What should I do next?" And that actually has helped me a lot. So
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. I mean, there's a lot more depth in that, mobile game than you get from a lot of console releases.
yeah, and because they're not trying to hide what it's doing, especially like with the event going on with Gibraltar, and you get that new animation with the RX-78 and
Mhm.
Amuro and Char and Hizaku too, and the
So
music. Like I
awesome.
was watching it a couple times yesterday, and it looks great. Yeah, excellent job with that. Um, let me ask you: Have you played UC Engage at all, or can you? Or
Yeah, I've definitely put can you?
yeah, wasn't there a time or another game that it wouldn't work on your phone?
Yeah, I didn't get accepted to, the G Generation
Oh,
Eternal,
that's what that was.
closed beta because my phone is so old, so, yeah, I mean, it is funny, like, I've got, this old phone that it looks like a brick because I have to keep a battery case on it just to keep it alive. It actually does run UC Engage, but it gets hot.
Oh, yeah, even with mine, so that's a good point. Interesting. I could only
Yeah,
imagine then. Oh,
um,
wait, what phone do you have?
it's an iPhone 6.
That's impressive.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know many people that like, even me, I tell myself every year I'm not getting a new phone, and then I do. Although, I have a 22, so at least I've kinda kept, the Ultra, yeah. But no, I think that's cool. It's like, sometimes I don't want to be so locked in by my phone, like, "Oh, having the latest one. Oh, using it to check this and check that," and it's like, ugh, you know?
Yeah, and I think what I've learned over the years is my stubborn commitment to old technology has only benefited me because, I know that a lot of people probably don't have the opportunity to play on original hardware when it comes to like the
Oh,
PS2
yeah.
and PS3 Gundam games. And it's like I've got the same PS2 that I've had since I was in high school
That's amazing.
and it runs.
That's amazing. I brought it up before how I sold all my stuff. Sometimes I regret it, sometimes I don't. And a lot of times I regret it when there's like this random game I never heard of that is on an old system. And it's like, oh, I would actually buy it off eBay and then play it, but I don't have my
Yeah.
old systems anymore. And then I go to see how much old systems are, and sometimes it's tough. Like I think the PS3, it took me a while before I was like, okay, I found a good deal, you know.
Yeah. I was gonna give you a PS3.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Little inside baseball. You guys probably don't know this, but I was gonna give Adam a PS3. It was my wife's old one from college, and, when I went to fire it up to, like, move all of her data over to my PS3, the battery supply on it was just dead,
Yeah.
which
Y
is apparently a that's a common issue with the PS3 Slims, I've heard, is that the battery just
the
dies on them.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, I guess with older systems, you just never know when they're gonna fail, but man, yeah, that's a whole other topic, when it comes to, like, that stuff, 'cause,
Yeah.
I'm always thinking about making sure I have access to older games.
Yeah, that's a
Um,
that's a big deal.
yeah. So speaking of games, real quick, I'm gonna do some, rolls in GBO2. So let's see, we've got this,
Let's go for it.
yeah, the free one. I think there's a couple. And if you didn't notice, I'm all festive. I put on all the Santa stuff that I've
I love
acquired
it.
in GBO2. Again, we were talking about being festive and decorating. I do
Yeah,
it in game. All right. Yeah, yeah. And I think I already
not
got
bad.
that. So okay. And that's the thing. I have most already. So
Yeah.
okay, let's see what this could be.
And to be honest, I was actually surprised. I had to do like a double take. I was like, wait a second, the Silver Bullet suppressor hasn't already been released in GBO2, but
Yeah. And I get this wrong a lot, but I know there's other versions of it, right? The one from uh Unicorn, right? Isn't that
well, so there's that.
okay?
Yeah, that would be the Silver Bullet, the
Yeah.
one that Vist's right hand man
Yeah.
pilots. I
Wait,
always
what if
forget his
it's
name.
it's like
Bald guy.
Chan or something?
Is it Chan?
I don't know. I could be making
I'm
that
sure
up.
it's monosyllabic,
Oh,
something
wow.
like.
What a word. Yeah, probably. Okay, got a lot of rifles. Okay. Uh,
Hey, that's a fun one to play with. I'm actually surprised you didn't already have a Cubulay.
yeah, that's what I was just thinking.
Hey,
Even
and a
that,
Zeta?
maybe okay, yeah, I guess I
So,
didn't have that either. That's weird. Or maybe it's a certain
I was gonna
level
say
or
there's a
cost.
3-star.
Yeah.
That was a 3-star Zeta. I know that the 1-star you can buy in the.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool stuff. Cool stuff.
Not bad, not bad.
Oh, that's actually really cool, but I already have it. It's actually a pretty fun support. Okay. So yeah, I didn't have the 3-star Cublay at 700 or the Zeta. Okay, so that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah,
That
those are good picks.
those are, yeah. All right,
You know,
so
if
then
only there were more 700 rooms, it's like
I know.
it's very rare that you get, the high rank room or high. I don't wanna say
Cost.
rank because the
Yeah,
but high cost rooms, yeah.
especially space because that's like high end space feels like I'm watching Zeta.
Yeah.
All right, let's see here. Yeah, yeah, okay. You get guns. That's great. Okay. I guess I already
Not
had
bad.
that, but I don't. uh, yeah, did not even remember.
It's like kids with trading cards. Have it, need it.
Ooh,
Oh,
that's cool.
that's pretty sweet looking.
Yeah, from Katana. Yeah, I'm gonna have to mess around with that. I like the katana looking blades.
Oh, yeah. You didn't read the, Katana manga, right?
No, no. Is it? Have you?
No.
Oh, yeah, I'll have to get to that. Okay, already had that. Yeah. Okay, that's
Yeah,
neat.
when it's a truck, it's it's a
Yeah.
piece of apparel.
Okay, well, this is pretty cool. Striker Custom. I want to say Talos is a big Striker Custom stand or Striker.
I
I'm
mean,
not.
he's just a GM stan in general,
Yeah,
if
he's a
there's a
Gundam
GM
fan
custom.
in
Yeah.
general. Gundam Universe. All right. Well, okay, that was pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with how all that turned out.
Yeah, I
I don't
mean,
always expect to get whatever is on the banner, but that's
well,
fine.
I mean, it's just after that one time you did the polls on stream and you got the
Oh,
Hazel
I
and
know.
Clay.
That was like, uh, yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Speaking of GBO2, so here's something else that I hope is useful for people because sometimes I come across things in the world and I'm like, wow, does everyone know about this? So the thing with GBO2 and Wi-Fi is normally if you're on Wi-Fi, you're going to have a bad time. It's going to be hard to find a match. The game is really sensitive to good network, right?
Yes.
So I had moved my PS5 in the living room because for some reason I'd prefer to have my consoles in the living room and my office have the gaming stuff. But when I want to play PS Remote, I don't like the lag that's introduced by doing it wirelessly. And the situation battles are back. Like I guess they took a break this week and then they come back. I don't know how that works, but
Yeah, I'm not sure.
yeah, 0080 is this one, Cyclops team.
That's so
So that's
cool.
cool. But when I was trying to play a match in my living room with the Wi-Fi, I bought a new wireless mesh system and I had one of the hubs right next to the PS5. It just the network it just was too slow. I was like, man, what do I do?
Mm,
So I was like looking into those things, like the where you can hook up your internet to your power line, and then at another power area you can. So I was
interesting.
reading into it, and people were generally saying it's not that great. It's really only if you just need some sort of connection, but it won't necessarily give you, your full connection. So then researching more, I heard about this thing called mocha. I don't know if that sounds familiar.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
Okay. So basically what you do is you plug an adapter up to your coax where the cable would go, and it shares the internet throughout the entire house wherever a coax cable is. And it's the full gigabit, like, that's what this device does, and so
That's awesome.
now yeah, and I feel like most people, especially if you're in the US, there's always coax cables, like, in everything because it delivers not only cable TV, but cable internet.
Yeah.
And so, I think people need to, like, get on this. You go just Amazon, type in Mocha, and, the thing I bought cost 100, but it was with 2 devices. One that's near my modem, so the modem plugs into it, and the coax plugs into it, and then the other device went into the living room. But so it's about 50 for each thing, and I know that's kind of pricey in a way, but that's still, amazing because you can
Well,
get full internet.
yeah, I was gonna say, if you think about it in terms of like, GBO2 being a free to play, live service game, you're not paying 50, $60 for the game. So you might as well pay $50 for a device that's going to
Again, make the
allow you to
internet
get
awesome.
get the best experience playing it, right?
That's a good way to look at it. And
Yeah.
because even if it's not GBO2, anytime you're trying to download something, a patch, an update, Call of Duty is like 100 gigs, it's good to know that you can have things wired in places.
Yeah.
So I just want to throw that out there for everyone because right now the servers are tuned to Japan because that's where the majority of the players are. It works really well that way. It's low cost, but to around the world, it makes it a little harder. So it's like if you're on wireless, try to be wired when you can. And so just the fact that I discovered that has changed everything. Um,
Yeah.
so throwing that out there, anyone with coax, and do you have like cable lines throughout your house?
Yeah, so I guess I'm sort of fortunate in that regard because the modem is kind of like the router is right next to a TV and all of the systems are hardwired into it. And then
Oh,
I ran 150 foot of Ethernet cable to like through the ceiling and down to my
oh
computer.
wow. So you
Um
already have it. You already have your stuff situated then.
Yeah, that was something I was very, cognizant of because I was like, "Look, I'm a gamer, I stream, I
Yeah.
I need to make sure that I've always got a solid internet connection," so,
Okay, that's
yeah,
cool.
we don't risk Wi-Fi around here.
Yeah, no, I'm done with Wi-Fi, and I think the needs of downloading data from the internet has exceeded the technology of wireless. Even I have this Wi-Fi 6, that's a new thing now. Even though that's great and has high speeds, it's still not as stable at the end of the day as, being wired in. Um,
Agreed,
yeah,
agreed.
okay. So wanted to ask, anything Gundam related you got into this past week?
Um, well, I've got a couple of super secret projects in the works. I just had something come off the 3D printer this morning, and the second part of it is actually on the printer as I speak. There's going to be a video associated with that coming out, and then there's another project that maybe people on the Patreon are familiar with, but yeah, we'll hopefully we'll be dropping a video tomorrow with I think you guys will enjoy it. It's a
Awesome.
short one, but it's a more of a passion project, not anything related to, normal content schedule.
No, that's cool. That's cool. I guess your creative juices have been flowing. And yeah, sometimes we want to make those little things that aren't necessarily in line with a specific content type, but just like expressing what we like about Gundam.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, what
I
about you?
no, well, I've been working on the Gune Gus's Yakdoga that
Awesome.
Goose sent to me. So I'm almost done with it. Actually, the legs are done too. They're right here. It's actually a lot cooler than I thought. And I think for the colors this has, to me, right off the bat, goofy kind of colors. But
Yeah.
I think with the real type decals and the panel lining, yeah, I think it will actually look really good. Um, so
Yeah, the
yeah.
Gune colors on the Yakdoga are very regal. They look kind of like if Dozel had survived the 1 Year War,
Yeah. with the
he would have
teal and
something that
gold.
looks like the
Yeah.
Gyune Yachtstoga.
Yeah, no, that's yeah, that's a good point. And I like that. Again, that I'll always say this. Sometimes you might not be into a mobile suit, but when you build it, you then appreciate it more. I think that's a cool part of
Definitely.
it. Um, I'm trying to think, was there anything else? Anything else I got into? I think that's about it. Yeah, so let's move on to this next topic, and that is Gunpla has come out in 2023. So I found this article and I linked it below. And basically, it's someone that their name is Kristen. I guess they published this in April, but they've been updating it as new kits have been coming out. There might be a better source for this. I just happened to come across
I
this.
mean, this is a great and pretty comprehensive resource, honestly, and I appreciate the way that Kristen organized it too, in, like, scales and things like that, so it's like, if you wanna look at just the high grades, you can go to that section, but, I mean, we were really spoiled for kits this year, and I never realized it until I looked at this list.
Yeah, that's a good point too, because when I was getting into Gunpla, I was mainly the kits I want weren't like new releases coming out. They were older
Mhm.
ones. The only one that was kind of a newer release around the time I was really getting into it was the Real Grade New, uh,
Yes.
which yeah, that was awesome. And what's cool is on their main screenshot they're using here for this article is the Master Grade Zeta, which we both have built, and maybe
Yep.
we'll talk about our thoughts when we get to that. And then the Epion, which I have, and I cannot wait to
I was
build.
gonna say both of us, received one courtesy of
Yeah,
Zeonic Shadow, so shout out to
exactly.
Zeonic Shadow, appreciate it. Um,
Yeah,
I do think that this particular photo is a little misleading because it makes you think that it was a master grade
yeah,
Epion.
I know. Which would be sick, especially at the design this looks like. Because to me, again, I'm not necessarily into the AU stuff as much, but like that design is just badass, especially on the box, the real grade when it shows the different transforming modes it has. It's like to me, this is just awesome plastic, articulated plastic, I should
Oh,
say,
yeah,
just in general.
and they added some interesting features to that real grade Epion that were not in the show, like the dual-headed dragon feet
Oh,
in when it's in mobile armor mode, it can, like, actually open the dragon's mouths. That was not something that
yeah, I don't
that they
remember, but yeah, I only watched it once and it was a weird fever dream like experience. But
and you're like, "Never again."
no, you know what? It's weird because lately when I've been seeing wing stuff, like it comes back to me like when it does the what do you call it? The title cards or whatever, where it has the name of the episode and it shows like the wing and it has the music and it kind of like sets the the atmosphere to have this
That is
like
pretty cool.
campy, cheesy but serious. Like I'm starting to understand the uniqueness of Wing that makes it kind of like a warm watch. You can watch it and feel
It's
good.
very melodramatic,
Yeah,
like
yeah. Okay, yeah, let's go down here. So this first one here is the MGSD Freedom Gundam. So it's like the first like master grade SD style.
yeah,
I always thought this looked cool and thought it would be a fun build. Um, but when I was at Bandai, actually, they had one on display and it was way smaller than I thought.
really.
For some reason, yeah, for some reason I was thinking it'd be a little bigger, but it was kind of small. Still looked cool though. So
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I remember when the Master Grade SD line was announced and everyone was kind of skeptical about it. And I think that there still probably is some of that skepticism. But, I think that if you're going to make a Master Grade SD, it should be kind of larger than 1/100th scale, even though
yeah,
SD doesn't really have scales,
yeah.
so to speak. So, yeah.
Oh,
But
and
hey,
yeah,
yeah,
classic quarter gameplay. Thanks for the $10 super chat. So let's see. There had been so many pics of Turn A Gundam poking around, never seen before, fan made or companies of a new model. Me myself, Double X is my fave, as GM Sniper 2, my faves. Always happy holidays, you both. Okay, I didn't get
hey,
that exactly.
happy holidays.
Yeah, but happy holidays. Thank you for the $10. So let's look at this. So um So you got yourself, oh, the double X is your favorite. So the double X, that's
Yeah.
from After War?
Yeah.
Okay. That would be a
I
cool
mean,
one to
the
eventually
the
get to.
satellite cannons are just so
Yeah.
freaking cool.
Which seemed to be what was kind of, I don't know if it was done purposely or just coincidentally in Witch from Mercury. The design of the Calibarn kind of had that going on.
Yeah.
And
Little
then
nod to it.
yeah, and then GM Sniper 2, which yeah, because isn't it the GM Sniper 2, that body that kind of led to the Pale Rider stuff?
I think so.
Or am I thinking of?
If it wasn't that, it would have been the GM Command, but the GM Command and the Sniper 2, that's like
Oh, that's right.
part of
Yeah.
the same lineage.
Yeah. No, those are good ones. Yeah, thanks a lot. Classic Quarter it has been commenting since I started.
I
Like,
was gonna say,
yeah,
yeah, cheers to one of the OGs who's been
yeah,
around.
exactly. Okay. So anyway, yeah. SD stuff. I might one day get a master grade depending on what it is. Okay. SDW Heroes Superior Strike, Freedom Dragon. That's not really my thing. Looks neat, but
Yeah,
any
that's a little
thoughts?
bit different,
Yeah.
the Heroes line.
Okay, and another one. Oh, so they did it for the 93 FF New Gundam. Uh, Looks pretty cool. Again, not really my thing. And then SDCS Banshee. Okay.
Now the CS, the cross silhouette line, slightly different than the standard SDs because you get the 2 different frames, or at least they're compatible with 2 different
Oh,
frames. They
right.
have, like, the traditional SD, which is a little shorter, chunkier, and then they have the cross silhouette frame, which is a little bit taller and has some articulation. So, to me, and I've talked about this before where it's like, Gundam Battle Alliance has almost that cross silhouette
Yeah.
proportion. It's not full SD like, 2 little stumpy feet
Yeah.
running along.
Yeah.
It's got some
Yeah. No, I know
tone.
what you mean. And yeah, that's something we've talked about where I've come around to that a bit. Um, like even the way this looks, this tornado, which is from, yeah, the G
Yeah,
generation games. And that actually looks pretty cool. The
yeah, I
proportions
love
are
the
pretty
colors
neat.
on that.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Okay, so this is saying entry grade. There have been none announced so far, but I know there was for the metaverse,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
the
The
La Gundam.
Law Gundam. Okay.
Mhm.
So, and I don't know, are those coming out in 23 though?
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's like the beginning of next year or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think the pre-orders are coming, you
Oh,
know
they've just announced
yeah.
them. Okay. All right. Oh, Barry BB is saying they are out now. Oh, okay. I'd like to get that. What was the name of the giant one with the Psycho Gundam R2
Oh, yeah.
things?
Was it
Chimera.
Estrella? Chimera.
Or I think the Estrella was the Gundam that then went into it and became the
In
Chimera, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, it's something like that.
Yeah, and speaking of that, yeah, another one that got released this year is the high grade 2 Neo Zeon narrative version.
Yeah, it was released several times, in fact.
Yeah, which is crazy because I saw someone that had bought 2 and, like, the box is gigantic,
It's
and
crazy.
so, like, I could only imagine, like, why they had to do kinda like the 3 waves to be like, "Okay, this is gonna be expensive to make. Is everyone gonna buy it?" And then, "Yes, okay, we'll do another wave," and I would love something like that, but I don't think there's room.
Yeah, yeah, I'd have to, like, I don't know, tell my daughter to move out.
Yeah, take place. Okay, let's see what else. Okay, high grade Vayette Souvent and Mercurius Souvent. I don't even know what that is.
So I think that those are manga exclusive versions of
Oh,
the
wing.
Mercurius and V8, which honestly, I think that the color schemes on these are way cooler than the anime color schemes of the Mercurius and V8.
Okay, yeah, I'm not familiar with these, but it says wing. So,
Yeah,
um,
they
okay,
are after Colony,
yeah,
but not a bad deal. Like $60 for a 2 pack.
yeah, unique looking. Yeah, that's not bad. Oh, here we go. The rose. This one is pretty sick. Like, even though to me it's kind of a goofy concept, it just looks good. The colors look good.
Yeah, it pops off the box for sure.
It, with the Maxter also, it makes me think, are they really going to go through all of G Gundam? I mean, that,
I mean, I was not a huge G Gundam fan, so I mean, it'd be cool if they do.
but it
I
doesn't
might get a
matter.
Dark Gundam or Devil Gundam if they
Yeah. Yeah,
if
that would be
they do
sick.
that, but
Yeah. All right. And then we have this Woundwort TR6 custom AOZ reboot version. That's a lot of words there, but
we got a lot of AOZ reboot stuff this year.
yeah.
Um, and the Woundwort is always kind of a goofy looking um
Yeah. Like
option.
modular, because
Yeah,
it like has all the
it's got
stuff.
like the Mac knife legs, the little
Yeah.
spindly dancer legs.
Yeah. And so I have the Robot Spirits version and I got the add on option parts, which it's pretty cool. I just wish it had the same V fin because that Woundwort V fin on this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Here's one which I think you got one of.
Yes. So I did not get the Egba type,
Yeah.
but yeah, there was a lot of kits that came out for the Doan's Island um, OVA.
Yeah.
So I picked up the Gundam, just the origin type that was the version from Kukuru's Doan's Island, and then I also got the Selma custom high mobility surface type.
Cool.
Which anyone who says that GBO2 doesn't is running out of ideas, I think that they should
Yeah.
add the surface type and the origin GMs
And if
next
we were to look
because
at the leaks, I think they have things planned out for a year, another year anyway. But you're right. Like this, it's like they could come out with all of these and they would be like different types, basically, based on the
yeah,
weapons, the skills. Um,
because you'd have the I forget what the sniper's name was, but there was the
yeah.
sniper in that unit. He could be a support. Egbo would probably be a raid. Selma would probably be a general.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Yeah. And also like considering, yeah, how they use their different moves and all that to incorporate.
Could you
Um,
imagine if they incorporated that skating style of
yeah. Where
transport around the map too? Like,
Yeah, where it gives that look 'cause they do have the ones that kinda scoot around, but yeah, the skate around would look pretty sick, the
yeah,
animation of it. Yeah, that is pretty cool. And then, yeah, the GM Slager Law custom,
yeah.
which yeah, I got that one, and I think it is amazing. Um, it's, here's what's interesting though, and I don't so the main difference with this style of GM is, I mean, one part could be the color of the shoulders, but
Mhm.
it's the mouthpiece, how it has kind of like this extra protrusion,
Yeah,
you
like
know.
a chin.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good way to put it. And but when I was playing UC Engage, maybe it was the specific event I'm doing, but the GMs had that look. So
Interesting.
so I wonder if they're kind of retconning all future GMs to look that way, or it's just they were that event I was doing really was supposed to be specific to Origin. Or it's like I wonder if they are just anything in the future that is based on the Amuro Char saga, they do in Origin style. You know what I mean? Um,
Possibly. I mean, there's a difference even in the design of the GM face between the Origin manga and the Origin animation. So like in the Origin manga, that chin piece kind of comes out to a flared point, a little bit more like a samurai mask or something like
oh
that.
yeah, yeah,
Whereas, the model kits and the anime kind of have it flattened against that faceplate. Um so, I mean, there's a lot of different designs, kind of floating about for that GM head.
yeah. And Talos is saying it seems they are Type A GMs. So
Mm,
okay, so that reminds me of like what they did in 0080. They came out with a redesigned GM, and then later they were like, "Well, no, these are the Kai." So it's like,
right.
so I'm down with that if they are introducing them that way, but they have like a specific name to it, so it like fits in. Okay. Next up is the aerial permit score 6, which I got the kit, but not with this permit score. And I think the kit is cool. It's a cool design, but I think with all of the options, it was uh, it got to a point where I just kind of just forgot about it. Like it's just too much to it, and it's like, yeah, I mean, I could have it at this and this, and it's like, whatever. And I just kind of fell off. Have you been getting any Witch from Mercury kits?
No, I mean, I've had a, I've had Ghouls Delanza sitting in my cart on New Type for
Oh,
for about 4.5 months, but
oh,
I, just still haven't pulled the trigger.
oh, well, that's cool. Yeah, it'd be interesting because I think as much as I say and only talk about UC, I feel like you really are the kind of the same way too, but you don't
Yeah.
express it as much. Yeah,
No, that's I think that because I only made it through, maybe 5 or 6 episodes of Witch before I was like, this really isn't for me."
yeah,
But, but design-wise, I was like the Delanza was really cool to me, and the Demi Trainer was cool.
yeah,
The Aerial, I don't know, the only thing that was really kind of interesting to me about it was that, like, the permit score design that,
yeah.
would appear on the breastplate, and I've seen some amazing custom work online, the people that have, wired up LEDs
Oh
to that,
yeah,
so there's some cool stuff to do with and I think that that's probably the most for me, whenever a new Gundam series comes out that, like, you know, that doesn't resonate with me, I can always appreciate the kits that come out and then the
exactly.
customs that people make with those kits because I don't think that anyone would have considered doing that style of, like, color changing LEDs without having seen it in the anime first
Oh
and
yeah,
having the platform, so to speak, to do it. So, it's one of those things, and I talk about it a lot, how sometimes the media we consume teaches us how to play with our toys.
oh yeah,
And so, Witch from Mercury introduce these new ideas that then make the Gunpla hobby more exciting because
yeah.
people are inspired by that. So,
No, yeah, those are good points. And that's something like with the aerial, I have the robot spirits and the original high grade release. To me, it looks best when the shield is attached to its different spots, instead
yeah.
of holding it, even though I think it's a cool looking shield. But I also love the effect parts to allow the bits to fly around. Like, and
Yeah.
it's interesting because even though this is the first Gundam series to come out when I got into Gundam, I like this main design more than I like the look of the Exia or the look of the Barbatos. Like,
Wow.
those are cool, but this one sticks out. I think because it still has a lot of the more classic Gundam-y look.
Yeah, you've got that
Yeah.
Top Gear. This is brilliant, but I prefer this.
Yeah, yeah.
Nah,
Even though, like, Double O is, like, my second favorite after UC. Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, after Universal Century, the AU I like the most after that is Double O. It just even though I like Sea Destiny a whole lot because it's like a schlocky
Same here.
Zeta, it's
Yeah.
just yeah. Anyway, okay, so there's this high grade full armor Gundam, which I thought would have already been out, to be honest. Um,
This one looks a lot better articulated than some of the previous full armor kits that we've seen.
also
Like,
it's probably like an updated.
yeah, I mean, there's no way an older kit would be able to strike that pose. That is,
Okay, that's cool, and maybe yeah, that's what they're trying to show off with that. Um, and then the Psycho Dogo, which this actually looks great.
yeah, that's awesome looking. I love that shield.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I like the colors too because that looks more grounded, you know. Yeah. And that's a high grade, huh? Yeah, Okay, and then okay, here's where we're going to get into a bunch of Witch from Mercury, which again, these look really cool, honestly. They're not Gundam-y like, in terms of what I like from Gundam.
Right, right.
Zowort, heavy, like these are really cool grunt like suits. Um
Yeah, the Zowert, it kind of reminds me of that one suit from IBO. Oh, I wouldn't. I don't think I'd be able to pronounce it correctly, even if I tried, but it's one of the turbines suits.
Oh,
I'm sure someone in the chat knows which one I'm talking about.
yeah. Let's see if and then yeah, some more Witch from Mercury. I mean, these look cool. Demi Barding, the Schwarzette. Um,
Yeah, one thing that disappointed me about some of these Witch from Mercury kits is that the proportions in the anime actually look so much better than the kit themselves. Like they're a little chunkier,
yeah.
they have a little bit more body to them. I think that that's probably what's thrown me off about like the aerial in particular is that the aerial kits are very skinny and slender, whereas the aerial in the anime is kind of thick.
Yeah, it is strange because I even did a comparison video where I took the aerial from the high grade line, aerial from the Robot Spirits line, and even compared those, and both of those are completely different from each other.
That's
Like, and it's small things. It's like the proportion of the neck to the head or the chin to the eyes. Like it's these little things that from a glance you wouldn't notice, but if you look closer, you're like, wait a minute, these are different designs.
yeah.
And and it reminds me of like the is it Charge Zagok, the high grade version versus Robot Spirits. Like the high grade looks like just an interpretation,
Yeah.
and the Robot Spirits is very anime. But so it's always interesting. Like when they're making a kit, the baseline is it where we're interpreting the anime, interpreting what the concept design was. Don't know.
Exactly.
That would, man, if there was like you know, obviously Gunpla are made by the Japanese, designed by the Japanese. If there was an English speaker with that level of knowledge on what goes into the designs, I would love to interview and be like, how do you think
Yeah.
of how you design it? What do you think of articulation? Do you sometimes, depending on the kit, go one way or another? Because sometimes I'm like, why is the wrist different on this than this, even though they're kind of similar, suits?
Yeah.
Oh, what is this? Hold on, I can't read the whole thing there. Mouse Messiah gifted one Gundam Explain membership. How
Hey,
awesome.
cheers. Thank you, Mouse Messiah.
Yeah, so if you're a member, you'll get access, to my behind the scenes videos, which I did one on how I retransformed this office. And then the UC timeline video I had the other day, there's not much to it, but I have that document available to supporters and stuff. So if anyone is needing access to that and doesn't know how, let me know. Okay.
Sweet. But yes, I agree with you, bringing it back around that interviewing somebody that has intimate knowledge of the production process of some of this stuff, it would be interesting to me as someone who does like 3D modeling and has done the printing and trying to create my own parts that fit with kits. I'm like, what's the methodology behind selecting one type of joint to another, like you
Yeah.
said, or and I'm sure that they have like basically a toolbox, right? It's like here are the 7 different polycap joints that you can use, and you can kind of plug and play and experiment with which ones
Yeah.
best suit your needs.
Because yeah, even when they're putting that together, then they have to create sort of that template that then goes to manufacturing. And so I wonder if they're considering that, like when it comes to manufacturing, the concessions they have to make. And then, okay, this one that says it's the gun vulva. Is that correct? This the gray Gundam from which Mercury that was like the AI controlled. I think that was the name. Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't think you got
Gunpla.
that far right in the show when that
No,
showed.
I didn't get that far in the show, but I do remember when this kit was announced when we talked about it on the show.
Yeah, it looks cool. I mean that it looks cool if a Gundam had a grunt army. Like,
Yeah.
that would look like
And
it.
that's a very grounded, colorway as
Yeah.
well, similar to that Psycho Doga that I could imagine, an actual military painting their mechs in
Okay.
that color scheme.
Well, okay, colorway. You said so the first time I ever heard the term colorway used was by you.
Oh, really?
And now I hear it all the time. All the time. Like anytime I'm watching something where they're talking about something that has different colors, they're like, "Oh, here's this colorway." Like for controllers, Gunpla, I would say color scheme, but
That's funny.
I guess
Uh,
there's Yeah.
For me, I think it's a holdover from when I sold sneakers. That was always like,
Oh,
like every shoe would come out in like 5 or 6 different colorways, and that was how we referred to them
different.
because you couldn't say that it came out in a specific color because the color, it was red and blue or blue and yellow or lime and blue. So it was like you had to have a different
Oh.
term for the color pattern that was on them.
Ah, okay, that makes sense then. I can see that. Um, okay, and then here's the high grade gun cannon Cuckoo's Doan's Island version, which I got in North Carolina when we all met up,
Yeah.
which was a lot of fun. Uh, yeah, with Sway and Rogue, and that was a lot of fun. Uh, it- I haven't built it yet, unfortunately, which I need to get to soon. It's
The
just
old backlog.
I think I'm gonna go with the Epion first, though, before I build this. I'm really excited about the Epion, to be honest.
That's fair. Well, and this was one of the few Kukuru's Doan's Island kits that was a mass release because
Yeah,
Doan Zaku, all of the um, Southern Cross Team Zakus, and the RX-78 were all P Bandai.
yeah, yeah. Which is interesting that they picked this to be the. I don't know. Oh, but Johnny Tacoma, SR5, welcome to White Base
Hey,
Crew.
hey,
Awesome. Yeah, I got
welcome aboard.
exclusive Discord channel. If you need any help with that, just reach out to me. Um, okay, and along with that, from Cuckoo's Doan's Island is Cuckoo's Doan Zaku, which is cool. I just didn't pick it up, but to be honest, it's awesome. I like what they're doing with it. You know,
Yeah, I kind of wish that it had not come pre-weathered. Um, like I would have
oh
rather it come, just long snoot Zaku that I can, if I want to do the battle damage, I'd rather do the battle damage myself than have the pre-battle damaged kit. You know what I mean?
yeah, that would be a fun part of the activity. Actually, is where what if they had some sort of guide for recreating the battle damage, and you do it yourself, but and then that allows you to, if you wanted to, expand on that. I don't know. You know,
That's pretty cool.
yeah. All right, and then yeah, here's that high grade that you said you grabbed. Now, did you there are 72? Did you grab the Origin release also from before?
No.
Okay.
So, as I understand it, this is virtually the same kit as the standard Origin release.
Ah, okay.
But I would have bought this one anyway for the box art alone because
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
box art for the Zaku and the Gundam are like movie posters.
Yeah.
Like they're gorgeous.
No, that's true. Yeah. Ah, I'd love to grab that. And that reminds me. So this weekend I'll be at Anime Frontier in Fort Worth. There's going to be the Gundam base, so I'm going to be looking out for some exclusive stuff to grab.
Now, are you gonna try and stream from the event or just, do like a postmortem afterwards?
That's a good question. I think I will record a bunch of stuff, but I was thinking if there would be something cool to do. Oh, can I skip this ad? Yeah. Uh, something I could do while I'm there at the Gundam base. Yeah, that might be like a live, hey, show us what you got or something. I don't know. That's a good point. If I do that, I'll let people know because it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and I don't know exactly. I'm gonna go Friday for sure, but I don't know if I'll go back Saturday and Sunday.
Cool.
All right, and then this high grade GM Rockin' Front type, which looks sick.
Yeah.
I, I guess was this yeah, P Bandai. It says eBay. Check latest prices. Oh, that's not much.
Oh, is it still pretty reasonable despite
Yeah,
being
yeah, yeah, about 50 or something. So 50 to 60 to 70. Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, because it was a P Bandai, and I'm assuming it's sold out, like the pre-order. Yeah,
probably so?
yeah, but easy to get on
But
eBay.
I mean, it was $25 at release. So I mean, it's one of those
It's true.
things where I know, people bemoan P Bandai releases because they're expensive, but it's like they're not always expensive. They, sometimes they are right in line with what you would expect to pay for a regular high grade. You just have to
Yes.
get in on it when they're released, and um,
Yeah, and I don't mind if I'm paying that for something that I can't get anymore, like 50 to
yeah,
60 for an exclusive. It's not bad.
agreed.
Um, okay, so this was neat because I felt like I could spend a year's salary on just all the different AOZ stuff. So I just didn't go for it. But like this Aqua Humbrabi looks badass.
Yeah, and it came out in both, like, the Titans colors and, the Re-Zeon colors, which was cool.
I know that's just so much. I mean, I guess at the time, like if you were to look at the price, oh, 36 not bad, but at the time when everything that was available to pre-order, that was just like, that was just so much, you know?
Yeah.
I
Yeah, the, summer was they were hitting us pretty hard over the summer with with releases on P Bandai.
Yeah, you know what? When I was in California and I met up with Ian and Tom, Tom bought a bunch of the Koss signature robot spirits and he had the Barzam. And it looked way more than I think I'm familiar with, like a Mark II.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, this is an excellent design. But I didn't notice that before, that it was based on the Mark II or something like that. And
Yeah,
they look different here.
it's got that same GM Quell,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, that's a good way to
sort
put
of
it.
design
Yeah.
philosophy where it's compatible with Mark II parts, so
Yeah. Okay. And then yeah. Oh, Titans Barzam, which looks cool. Um, and then the high grade Jestas, which I have one thanks to Santo Bell, but there's some other types that have come out, and I don't know. I guess yeah, it's as seen in NT or narrative, but then GBO2 obviously then gets like all those variants.
right.
Yeah, type Team A. All right, and here's the DJ narrative version, which looks cool.
Yeah, it's a lot less goofy colors than the Zeta version, and you're never gonna hear me say that I prefer a a
Yeah,
version that wasn't in Zeta, but yeah, I mean, I if Amuro had this version of the DJ, that's
yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, it's like the DJ's cool, but it is kind of goofy.
yeah,
Like from Zeta
the
because of the
teal.
teal. Yeah, with everything going on. Um, and then Jagan Type D, which looks awesome.
Yeah, I always love the rifles and the weaponry that comes with some of these grunt suits because they look very, tactical,
Yeah,
When you have, like, a Gundam, typically, they have, like, a long beam rifle or something like that, but these little, like, short bullpup rifles and things like that are really cool.
yeah. I think it lends to even what I like about like when I would buy action figures. I like why I like Halo because you get these like machine-like tactical soldiers or whatever. And just like the GI Joes back in the day, they'd come with all these weapons, and then I'd plug in the backpack and have them hold, and it's like cool to do that.
Yeah, agreed.
So this is one that recently I was looking at, and I think there was not the Sword Impulse specifically, or maybe it was, but like that it's a real grade, just a real grade Impulse looks nice. I think it almost seems UC, except the way you can pose it and its action is like way over the top, but it still
Yeah.
has a really cool grounded Gundam look. Um, oh, another one.
I think this is actually a typo because it's the Destiny Impulse.
Oh yeah, you're
Um,
right. Because down here it does say Destiny Impulse.
yeah,
Yeah,
which, I mean, I love the maroon color scheme on it.
yeah,
It's got the same swords as the Sword Impulse, but
yeah,
yeah, I think if you were to take the wings off, that would look something more akin to what you and I would call a Gundam.
yeah, yeah, definitely. And speaking of wings, we got this Epion, which yeah, again, shout out to Zionic Shadow. Can't wait to build it. This is a very unique and more like monster action figure type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to
And
build it.
every scene of the Epion in the show was, like, menacing. They always had
Yeah.
dramatic music playing, and
Yeah. Yeah, that would be a cool one. And then yeah, Sinanju, but metallic gloss injection. I don't know about you, but I don't really care to get kits that have like some special material look to it.
no, yeah, I'm agreed. I don't like special coating versions or, like, the transparent versions,
Yeah.
generally speaking. In fact, that was one of the things that held me back from getting uh Grips War 3-pack, the Gundam base limited one that has the Zeta, the Mark II,
Oh
and the
yeah.
Hyakushiki, is they have that, like, special gloss coat on them that's kinda ruins it for me.
Like, I feel like a metallic coating can work depending on what the suit is, but yeah, especially sometimes when it comes to Gunpla, usually people like to customize them themselves anyway. So you could get a clear one and then just make it whatever. Um,
Yeah,
it's interesting. And
and
maybe
that's what I
that
think. Oh, go ahead.
well, yeah, I don't know if, and maybe that's kind of their thing. It's like we'll release one that's a different color for maybe people that are into that, but then also for the people that are going to customize them anyway, it's going to be another release.
Yeah, and that's what I've always loved about the EcoPla line, and I hope that they continue doing that, is taking the recycled runners, boiling them down, and making the EcoPla, because those all come out as just black plastic, because once you mix all those different colored plastics together and melt them down, the only color you're gonna get is just flat black,
Yeah.
which is cool because A, you're recycling runners and, it's good for the environment. B, if you're gonna paint the kit anyway, then it doesn't matter if it's all black.
Yeah.
And then, C, you usually get it a little cheaper than you would for, at least when I price checked the EcoPla Goof, it was cheaper than the high grade Goof. So
That's cool. That's cool. I would be down for that.
yeah,
Uh, all right, and then we get both, and these are real grades, the Sazabi and New Gundam FF versions, which don't
it's
really.
crazy to think that that came out this year. It,
Yeah,
it feels like a lifetime ago that the new Gundam came out.
yeah. I wonder if maybe the statue itself was what came out maybe previously, and then they finally got the kit out. But
Hmm.
you know, it's interesting because I don't care about these as much, but there is like lore to them where they were able to get the original ones and then just like fix them up or something. But I don't know. Maybe because they're not in any stories that directly tie into the Shar and Amuro saga that I just kind of I don't know.
Yeah, there's something kind of blasphemous about somebody other than Amuro in the new Gundam and someone other than Char in the Zazabi, right?
Yeah, it is a little weird.
It's that Harry Potter meme. How dare you
Oh
stand
yeah,
where he stood?
that's good. And then you had this real grade Phoenix, which would have
Now,
been
do you
a
say
sick.
Phoenix? Well, I guess, yeah, you say Phoenix. I've always said Phoenix, but, maybe that's my
No, I think I did. I want to say I looked this up for an old video, and it's interchangeable.
yeah.
I think because one was the pronunciation in another Latin-based language. I'm sure Talos knows, but from what I understand, I think it's the same thing. Um,
Right, yeah. Because I mean, it's spelled Phoenix, but, like,
but
I was thinking,
yeah,
if you've got a unicorn and a banshee, then, it's just one of those,
yeah,
what do you call that when a word is spelled the way that it sounds? I'm sure Talos knows that too.
onomatopoeia.
That's when
Oh, sound.
yeah,
Yeah, that's the
or
sound
phonetically. It's a
spelled.
phonetic
Yeah,
spelling, right? There you
yeah.
go.
There you go. Um, Phoenix is a Latin variant. Okay.
There you go.
And those Japanese wordsmiths out there, they tend to know everything about every language. You know what I mean?
They have some fun with it,
Yeah.
from time to time.
Like even in like Souls games, like the descriptions are usually using language and words in English that I'm not too familiar with. Like, wow, that's very well done. Okay. Full Mechanics Aerial, which that's cool. Ashley, our social media specialist, uh, was building this during our build and chill last Saturday, and she has some pics up on her TikTok. It actually looks pretty cool. Like, and let me see if I can click. No, it's just, or I'll zoom in because this kind of no. Again goes to what we were talking about, how there's like different proportions on different uh ones, and I think this one's actually pretty good.
Yeah,
Because it has the
look,
slim waist, but it still seems to have like kind of proportionate shoulders to waist
yeah, a
or
little
hips.
sturdier looking.
Yeah.
Um,
I think it looks cool actually. I don't know what it is. Okay. Let's see what else is on here. Full Mechanics Forbidden Gundam, that seems awesome.
Yeah.
But
It's an
let's see.
interesting choices for the full mechanics line, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Ariel makes sense because Witch from Mercury, but yeah, Forbidden Gundam is an oddball choice for me. But
Because it seems like we might have talked about this before. It seems like the master grade is just for certain lines or certain anime, and then yeah, like Full Mechanics versus RE 101 versus master grade. Um,
yeah,
yeah, I don't get it.
and they're pretty inconsistent at that.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah,
you get a master grade Alex, but then the Zaku Kai is a
yeah,
RE 100.
right. And then the Camphor. I think the Camphor's a master grade, just an older one.
Yeah.
Uh, and then okay, here's some master grade kits. Johnny Ryden custom. This seems like something people would want to jump on. But
Yeah.
did they?
Mm.
Unless it's because let's see. Oh, it comes out in November 2023. Could be that someone's had their hands on this, but
Yeah, interesting color choice on that one because typically when you see that Johnny ridden Zaku, it has the black breastplate, but this
yeah,
one is all reds.
yeah.
So I wonder if this is closer to the manga version.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But I have not read the manga, so
And then here's his Gelgoog, which that has the black on there.
there
So,
you go.
and then we're nearing the end, so we might have to finish some of this later. And I guess really the point is people check out the link. Like that looks cool. Check out the link for this in the description because what I want to do on our next show is kind of just our top couple favorites that have come out this year.
Yeah,
Um,
I would need to go through this list and see which ones you and I actually have.
yeah, yeah, that's true. And yeah, because there's man, there's so many cool ones on here. Like perfect grade, golly. Anyway, no, that was cool to go through. I didn't realize how many kits there were and how much there is to talk about, really. So, yeah, I'll have to pick a couple for next time. But
For sure.
anyway, no, thanks for everyone, and thanks for the new support that I got today in the super chat. It's really helpful with like not only motivation but supporting me going forward with this stuff. Yeah, check the links in the description for the supporters. They have links down below, and then yeah, Steven's stuff because yeah, we do the live show on Steven's channel. Steven, anything to add?
No, great show.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks everybody. Hope you have a good weekend, and we will talk later.
Cheers.